What's up, guys? Welcome to the second part of the Patchnotes video. Last video was, of course, Borderlands 2. This time it's going to be for the pre-sequel. Now, a lot of these I don't really know too much about. Like, I didn't know these were problems or anything, mainly because my playtime in pre-sequel is pretty limited. Compared to some people, it was more than a month, so it is kind of limited compared to more of the hardcore players who still play the game, but I know some of the things, so let's go over it. I mainly stuck to more in-game stuff rather than technical issues like in the last video, so let's go ahead and get into this. One of the first things is Claptrap will no longer drop his buzz axe when pressing the drop weapon key. I thought this was pretty cool in the past. You could like drop it and then you pick it up and it doesn't do anything. It was cool, but it's not like it really benefited anybody in any way or anything. So, you know, they fixed it. It's not really going to be missed, I don't think. The next thing is also a Claptrap thing. The explosive element of his elemental subroutine is now capable of setting off a Nova when triggered. Claptrap was probably one of my least played players. I mean, well, yeah, least played Vault Hunters, so I don't really know too much about him, but that's a thing. Next is rocket launchers will no longer spawn with critical hit bonuses. This I remember noticing. Players with rocket launchers with a critical hit bonus will find that a random bonus has replaced the critical hit bonus. So you get something that's not useful for something that is useful, because I don't think rockets have ever been able to crit. Well, that'd be a cool idea, right? Like a rocket like railgun thing that crits, although that'd probably be more of a laser type thing. I'm thinking like sleeper simulant from like Destiny kind of thing. But anyway, let's keep going. The formerly non-functional new U-Station in the map Motherless Board in the Claptastic Voyage DLC will now function. Now, I didn't even ever realize there was a new U-Station in the Motherless Board. I always felt like there was supposed to be one there, that it would have benefited, but I don't think I ever noticed one being there. I guess since, you know, they're closed up when they're not active, so I guess I just never noticed because I didn't pay much attention. But it's cool that's there. That was the best DLC, and one of the, you know, big small problems with it was that one of the areas you just couldn't fast travel to, and it was annoying. But anyway, next up is Aurelia's excellent shot Madame skill. Dot will now do the correct amount of damage. I again wasn't really aware of this either. I don't know if it did less or did more. If it did less, then cool, it's getting buffed. If it did more, then it's getting nerfed. But you know, either way, it shows they're paying attention, and I don't really feel the same way about these Patchnotes that I felt at least how I felt with Borderlands 2 Patchnotes, because the Borderlands 2 ones were like 2 to 3 years late, but this one, there are a few things. You know, 2K seemed to be really rushed for time for this game, and then they had to make DLC for it, and then they went out of business and stuff. So it was a lot harder for these Patchnotes to get out. So even though they are a few years after, not a few years, like a few months after the game's like quote-unquote death, I'm not really too upset that these took for like a while to get out. I'm glad that they're coming out. Next up is XSTLK23. That's one of the stalkers. You can now drop the Iridian Vanquisher class mods for Doppelganger and Baroness. I was not aware that he didn't drop it for those two. I was aware, though, that he was not supposed to drop these, well, that set of legendary class mods, I think. Wait, no. I can't remember if it was Iridian Vanquisher or something else. I can't remember what the other one's called, but when the game originally came out, he was dropping the wrong set of legendary class mods. Yeah, he was dropping the opposite ones. Part of me remembers that might have been fixed, so I could just be wrong. I don't know. You guys can correct me in the comments below. I know when the game came out, though, he dropped the wrong set. Don't know if he's still dropping the wrong set, and they just, you know, made it so he continues to drop more of the wrong set for the other two characters, or if they did fix it and it is the right set. I can't remember. I really cannot remember what the other class mod set was called. There were 2 legendary sets, though. There are more now, but there were 2 before. Alright, now for the Frostfire. Its weapon effect will now become inactive when switching to a different weapon. A lot of people don't really know about this weapon because it was instead of getting like the legendary head for beating the raid boss on through Vault Hunter mode, this was like a normal mode thing, and you got the Frostfire, which is like the 2-lane from Borderlands 2, except it freezes you. And I remember when I had swapped from the gun, I would still be frozen, so that's cool. It's gotten fixed. I don't think anyone really used this gun, but cool nevertheless. Shows that they have paid a little bit of attention, at least as far as Gearbox standards go. Next is Claptrap can now only digistruct one copy of himself when using the second wind by two-door skill. Now, again, I didn't play Claptrap too much. I didn't really mess around with him too much. I pretty much only played like Nisha, Athena, a decent amount of Wilhelm, very little Aurelia, and some Jack. But yeah, I didn't know anything about this skill. I didn't know if it. I'm guessing from this that it would go ahead and digistruct more copies than one, or maybe none at all. I don't know, but it's fixed. This one I'm pretty sure I know about. Moxie's toy chest can now only be opened once. Now by this I'm pretty sure they mean the Vibrapulse chest, and I'm very disappointed in this because this like bug was the only way to get on level, like an on level Vibrapulse or an on level whatever else, like Kiss of Death and whatever the shield was called, and it appears that that's not possible. Now if they give this a drop source from some boss, that would be cool. Just don't put it in the Holodome because nobody likes the Holodome. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in this one. I see how it could be OP. You know, you could just keep going and now keep doing it, picking up the stuff, selling it. But it's not like you're going to be like buying many things anyway. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed in that. Again, if they would have like given these items an alternate drop, then that would be fine. But it doesn't seem like they have. So I could be wrong. Could be some completely other different chest. But I'm pretty sure I'm on point with this one. Now, Aurelia's excellent shot Madame skill will no longer be triggered when the player is inside a vehicle. I can see how this bug would be a thing. I don't remember ever proccing it for myself, but I can see how it could be a thing. And it's fixed now, so cool. The Fragnum 88's critical hit bonus will now be applied correctly. This gun always felt a little bit underwhelming, at least, you know, compared to its big brother, the Herald, but hopefully the critical hit bonus being applied correctly now, I'm going to assume this is like a buff. Hopefully it performs better than it did before, because it was decent before, but, you know, any kind of buff this gun gets is a good one. Next up we have clients playing as Nisha will no longer keep a copy of a drop pistol in their left hand when using the one for each of yes skill. I do remember this. It was really weird. it was cool. It would make for some like cool glitches, but there it goes. Players can now only receive loyalty reward. Wait, no. Players can now receive loyalty rewards for DLC characters. I do remember this. I remember like loading up my Jack and my Aurelia, and I was like, wait, where are my rewards? Where are my loyalty rewards? Gearbox. Randy. I'm not gonna yell it too loud. Although, if you guys would ever watch some of my streams, I would yell it pretty loud and pretty long. Not this time though. Not this time. Athena players will no longer receive a message and experience when using the clear skill on a co-op partner who has already bled out in fight for your life mode. I don't think I ever got this to proc, but you know, it does. It definitely seems like something that didn't happen. Is it helpful? Yeah, but you know, looking from the developer standpoint, definitely something that should be fixed. Next up is another thing from Borderlands 2. Actually, purple rarity rocket launchers will now use the appropriate like material, you know, like texture and stuff. It uses the appropriate one now, seeing as they're, you know, Borderlands 2 and PreSequel are technically the same game on the same engine, definitely on the same engine. It makes sense that they would share bugs, so gotta fix them on both. Next up, Nisha's left-hand weapon will no longer fire when aiming down the sight. I never noticed this, because when you're aiming down sights, it's kind of hard to see the other gun shoot, but that's fixed. I don't know if it was ever helpful or anything, but that's fixed. Both guns should now always be present when dual wielding as Nisha. So there were a lot of bugs. I remember my girlfriend sent me a lot of pictures of her breaking her Nisha and holding a sniper rifle and a pistol in the same hand and then nothing in the other hand and stuff like that. So hopefully now it's going to only be the two pistols and whatnot. It was cool and funny to see before, but it's gone now. It's fixed. I could see why they'd want that fixed. Moving on, sorry for the longish pause there. I kind of lost my place. The bosun, well, I always call them bosun. The bosun will now have higher shield regeneration, particularly in True Vault Thunder mode. I never noticed this. I did remember him dying really fast, but never really noticed this. But, you know, making him harder in a difficulty where he is supposed to be harder, that's not so bad. But pretty much, I don't know. It's probably not really going to do much because you just melt him anyway. He won't really have time to start his shield regen. Hopefully it's not so much that like he's regenerating it as you're killing him. That would be kind of dumb. That would be pretty dumb. Have to get like the Trespasser or whatever it's called in that game. Alright. Moonstones will no longer be refunded to the player after buying a Moxtail from Moxie's Bar in Concordia and then looting another Moonstone drop. I had no idea. I had like no idea this was a thing. I never bought a Moxtail ever. Not even experimented with it, so never got a chance to figure out that this was a thing. So that's that. Alright, these are kind of all like, they were separate, but I kind of like bunched them all together. The Data Scrubber, the Meganade, the Shield of Ages, and the Rerouter will now all use a more appropriate material. The Juggernaut Oz kits are in there as well. Apparently their material wasn't satisfactory before, so they're giving him a new one. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Can't wait to see what the Meganade looks like now. Meganade's always been one of my favorite. I don't even remember what the Data Scrubber or any of these other stuff are. I remember the Rerouter. Rerouter is pretty cool. Although I don't think I ever got one. But it seemed pretty cool. Despair and Self-Loathing, those two bosses that you get the Thunderfire and the Meganade from, they'll no longer get into an infinite teleporting loop. Now, this happened to me a lot. Happened to me the first time I played through the DLC. Basically, at least for me, if I didn't melt them fast enough, they would get stuck in this teleporting loop, and you'd have to save and quit and go back to the area to kill them. It was really annoying. Really, really annoying. I'm glad that's not a thing anymore, because that would suck for people who actually can't melt them and need to actually take some time in the fight, and that happens like so many times. Alright. Next up, really, and now is a call out for when our oxygen is low. Again, this is another thing I never noticed because, I don't know. Who would really notice that? Anyway, the fast travel station at the entrance of the Outland Spur now activates when the player enters the map. I didn't know it didn't, but that's a thing. Pretty much this entire video is like, I didn't know that did that, but that's a thing. It's cool, blah, blah, blah. Aurelia's Save the Queen skill now has appropriate status effect damage. Now, by appropriate, I don't know if that means buff or nerf, but that's a thing. The last thing is various stability improvements. Now, again, like Borderlands 2, I imagine this is stability as far as like the game goes. That's not the stability of your weapons. It could be both, but I think it's a safe bet to assume it's the stability of the performance of the game. And that's pretty much it. This was definitely a shorter video than the Borderlands 2 one. Actually, it wasn't. Just by a bit, it was. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's it. Don't have much to say on these. Those are the ones I found like useful that weren't like technical things that nobody really cares about. And yeah, what do you guys think of these patch notes? You for it? You against it? You is it gonna make you play the pre-sequel again? Probably not. But you know, I'm definitely gonna go in and test it out tomorrow a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. I very much appreciate it. And I do have one more Borderlands video coming out tomorrow, hopefully. Maybe not tomorrow, because tomorrow is Trials and Destiny, but maybe the next day. I do have some Borderlands videos coming out. Enjoy them while they last, because once they're gone, they're probably going away for good until Borderlands 3, and until I play Tales. But that's pretty much it, guys. Again, thank you all for watching. Very much appreciate it. I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.